guys, how y'all doing? This is Ken, your thrifty apprentice. I was actually sitting here playing around with this pack of Sanjoki art markers. I was looking in the corner. I have several set of art markers over there that I have been neglecting as far as using to test them out and play with them and see how they perform and get around to reviews. It's been about 6, maybe 7 months. I was looking at the channel since I did anything with an art marker. So I was kind of playing around and doodling. Now I initially did this set of strawberries in my Ohuhu marker book. Using the Sanjokis in some Prismacolor. And they came out okay. I really didn't like the way they appeared at the bottom once I added the shadow. So I decided that I was going to try them on a different paper. And this is Soho mixed media paper by Jerry's, or from Jerry's. They're a Jerry's house brand, one of their house brands, should I say. And I've been using the Creative Mark Universal Mixed Media Pad, but I decided I'd try out the Soho. So I tried the markers here, and I think I like them better on this mixed media paper than I do on the actual alcohol marker paper. With that said, I played around with them, got some strawberries drawn, and then I was just kind of about to doodle this little set of fruit on I don't know what, may be a table, or maybe I'll just leave it just like that. I don't know, but I decided I'd turn on the camera and I'll share that with you guys. Now I'm going to speed it up a little bit because I am going to be using alcohol markers and a little color pencil on top as well, and it's going to take a while, I'm sure. So I'm going to speed the video up, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Okay, as I stated earlier, guys, I drew out this little fruit composition in this Soho mixed media book, and I'm going to just jump right in. I'm starting with a light pink color, and I'm using that to put on the highlights for my strawberry and my cherry. I'm going to base in a little yellow in the leaf area before I put in the green. And you'll see me check my swatch chart as reference throughout the time I do this illustration. Again, I purchased these markers months ago, maybe back in September, October of last year, maybe November, somewhere in that area. I originally purchased this set of markers for a art marker course that I was taking, which is Unteachable through Lindsay Wyrick, the Frugal Crafter Teachable School. It's a wonderful course. She does run specials on her videos and in her video description sometimes for percentages off her courses. So definitely something for you guys to check out. I feel like it helped me improve my marker art so much taking that course. So I jumped in and I put in some of, well, the most lime green color that I had in the set, which was funny because it's 120 markers, but it wasn't quite the color that I want. But, you know, markers are transparent and they do layer well. Me, I'm more of a layer artist than a blender when it comes to alcohol markers. So I really like that style. I mixed in more of an pale yellow color on top of that green and that lime, because I knew that light marker, alcohol marker ink, would lighten the color of the green and give me more of a lime color. So now I'm jumping in and I'm doing the leaves on the strawberry. I've gone ahead and shaded in the strawberry with, I do believe that color was Vivid Red, and I'm shading in the cherry with Carmine. Two red items beside each other, but the hue and the colors were so different that they did not blend and look like they were one. I really love that. Now, this technique for doing the strawberry, I'm just dotting on the color, vivid red that I used to color the strawberry into the highlight area, just so I can start getting the little section that has the seeds in it. Now I'm going back in with wine. I was so frustrated with the huge jump as far as the mid-tone range to the dark tones for the reds in this set. But again, they blended together and layer really well. So even if you missing a tone, you can sort of create that tone. Another thing I love about alcohol markers. But you know, all art medias do that to a certain extent, especially if they're a transparent one. Now I'm just taking that wine color and I'm throwing in the shadow area of my cherry. I'm dotting on the shadow that would be in the little seed couplets or holder or the little pockets on a strawberry. And sometimes those seeds are yellow, but for the technique I use, I really just use a white gel pen, which you guys will get to see a little bit later on. Now I'm jumping in with a darker green. I think it may be called dark green or maybe deep green, but that's what I'm using to do the shadows and the leaves on the strawberry. That's also what I use to do the rime on the lime. And after I got everything situated and kind of colored in with the alcohol markers, I'm jumping in with Prismacolor pencils. Now, this is something else that I've learned over the last couple of months. Art markers, alcohol art markers to be specific, and color pencils pair together well. But if you guys have watched my channel for any time at all, you'll know that I typically will pair color pencils to a lot of different art medias just to add body, more saturation, or to fill in on colors I may be missing in a range of light to dark. So they are very, very, very handy and universal in all artwork, I do believe. So I'm just using those different colors from the Prismacolor to spruce up, brighten up, give more body, make the fruit look more heavy, more tangible, should I say, more liftable. And color pencils do that. They will add just enough opacity to a piece to give it that fullness, although they're just as transparent in a lot of cases as a lot of other art medias. But that's the great thing about mixed media work. Most products are going to work really well together. I'm jumping in with a white gel pen here, and I'm just throwing in the areas that I needed to use white in, like dividing off the sections of the lemon and the lime, coloring in the little pith area. I'm actually going to take a white Durant Color Soft pencil to actually kind of paint in the right white part of the rime. So I was using a lot of different little techniques here. Now, you're going to see me go in and start to add in the little seeds to the strawberry. And I'm going to take my time. I'm going to hold my gel pen, that's what I'm trying to say, at a 90-degree angle when I'm doing it to make sure that I get those dots dead center. And here you see me just, again, pumping up the color. I think I used, if I'm not mistaken, I used crimson on the cherry, and I used poppy red on poppy red on the cherry and crimson on the strawberry. Then I went back on the shadow parts of both of those red fruits with Tuscan red, because that wine was just a little bit too dark, but the Tuscan red brought it up. It seemed to lighten it a little bit, so I really did enjoy that. I mean, this composition overall, although it's not a complete composition, I could actually draw a table underneath this fruit, because I am going to put in shadows to make it a complete composition. And maybe I will do that in order to turn it into an illustration for the front of a journal or maybe a card or something of that nature. I'm not exactly sure yet. But here is where I'm putting in those little seedlets. And then I'm going to go back and start adding in the highlights, or I went back and started adding in the highlights of where they would hit. I'm putting most of the gel pen concentration in that area where I put the light pink to originally form the highlight. Now I'm doing the stem of the cherry here, just using some green and red, switching back and forth between marker and pencil so I get it to look exactly the way I wanted it to. Wasn't too bad at all. Overall, guys, I think that art markers are a wonderful medium. They're really, really cool and fun to paint with. They do have a bit of a learning curve, whether you're jumping between bullet and chisel or brush and chisel, and we'll cover a lot more of that when I get into doing a review for these, which will be, you know, a little later, a couple of weeks. We're gonna do a couple of illustrations with these, let you guys see how they kind of perform. Maybe it'll pique your interest in art markers if you've never had one, and if you've used them before, then maybe it'll pique your interest in picking them up and giving them another go. They're really handy and quick to take with you, especially if you're trying to, you know, paint on the go, which is something I may try to do. Take a set of maybe 12 to 15 markers with me and do illustrations on the go versus taking paints the next time I go out to do some outside painting. So we'll see how that works out. And of course, I always post on Instagram, Facebook, and in the community section here on YouTube. You guys should really check out the community section. I do post a lot of different things that may not be in video there. And definitely follow the Instagram page. It's the Thrifty Apprentice. It has a lot of things going up there, and most of the things that I do off camera that doesn't make it to video ends up as a post of some type on Instagram. So that's a great place to follow if you guys aren't. I'm also on TikTok, but you know, I barely have a following on there. Here I'm throwing in some shadow with a little black color pencil here. And then I'm just going to darken it right up under the base of each of the fruits so you could see where it was actually touching the surface. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I'm going to try to do a more complicated composition next time with them, I promise. Okay, so that's that. A little alcohol marker and a little color pencil. Now, I'm actually glad I pulled these on back out. I actually love alcohol markers. They were fun to use, and it did give me a little bit more experience, or should I say help start to refresh my experience. So I have quite a few notes I want to jot down about these, about their performance up to this point. That way I can eventually get around to a review form at some point. But there you have it, guys. Hopefully you saw something you like. You guys should try this out. It's really easy. I just sketched on a couple of pieces of fruit. Nothing really hard to draw at all, and just kind of took 3 different colors. But you guys got the point from the demo. So if you saw anything you like, picked up on any tips, tricks, techniques, or just enjoyed hanging out with me and seeing the alcohol marker demo, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that notification bell. I'm definitely trying to grow the channel, and it's going to take wonderful help from viewers like you in order to do it. Share the video, because sharing is caring. Maybe someone else would love to see this information. Keep in mind the video description has all of the relevant links in it, guys. Facebook group, most recommended product list, Patreon, Etsy, it's all down there. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. And remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting and crafting.